Hey, good morning and welcome back to Question and Sense with me, Matt. Hope you guys are well. I hope it's all going to your plan and I hope everything is cool and the gang. Okay, very brief weather update. I know you can't wait for it. Started off wet, started off grey, it's actually getting quite sunny now, but it's all right. Anyway, I was going through some old videos last night and I was just realising that we're but we do tend to focus quite a lot on sort of more expensive perfumes and some more niche stuff. So I was looking through my collection and thinking, right, what have I been wearing that's really, really cheap and that I love that I've not reviewed yet? And then this popped up and this is called Graphite by Claude Montana. Now this has been featured in maybe 1 or 2 lists, but it's never had a review of its own. So, you know, I paid, I think £12 from All Beauty for this about 1.5 years ago for 100ml. And you can see in 1.5 years or nearly, about 1.5 years, I've got through an awful lot of it. Which for me is quite rare, so it does get gets a lot of usage. I tend to use it, sort of wear it around the house and stuff like that, and I've wanted to work a couple of times. But then I thought, why haven't I reviewed it? So I looked on All Beauty to see, you know, how much it costs now, and it's not there. So then I googled it, and bearing in mind I paid £12 for it, it's now the cheapest I could find. It was like 30, and it goes up to something like 60. So that kind of worries me a little bit. It may be discontinued, which is a real shame if it has been, because this is an excellent functioning scent. Now it came out in 2011. I'm wearing it now, and what I'll do is I'll have a little spray for the purposes of the review. Now, the nose behind this is Natalie Lawson. So this kind of surprises me why I don't hear much about it. I don't think there's very much about it on YouTube, and there's no hype for it at all, considering it's such a punchy and effective cheapie. Especially when it's a Natalie Lawson, because Natalie's other perfumes do get talked about quite a lot, especially this one. Now this one has got some real hype behind it, and that's Bentley for Men Intense. Now this is a perfume I've had for quite a while, and I have a bit of a strange relationship with it. When I first got it, it was very big and bombastic, but it dried off quite quickly, and I love the smell, but the performance was a bit sketchy, though I've been trying it again recently and the performance seems to really improve. So I don't know whether it's just one that needed to sit for a while, but I'm certainly going to be wearing this a lot more over the winter now, because I think this is an absolutely stunning frag, and again, really good value. And the other one of Natalie's that I have that I really rate is This Is Him by Zadig and Voltaire. This is kind of, I've actually got through loads of that. I didn't realise I've worn quite as much of that. This is a real party fragrance. This is a great fun frag. It's a bit sort of like, there's a lot of tonka, there's some pepper, there's some incense, and it's yeah, it's a really good one. I do like this. This is a great popping down a pub with your friends or going to a party or something like that. It's a really good perfume. It's not massive, but it's you know, it works well, it lasts well. It's not beast mode, but it is a really enjoyable fragrance. So let's have a look at Graphite. What we'll do is we'll go through the notes and then we'll just talk a little bit about the perfume, and I'll give you my thoughts on it, and then sort of we'll have a chat and see whether it's worth you guys taking a punt on it or not. So let's have a look. Okay, if we look at the notes, this is another perfume that is kind of driven by one material. It's a celebration of one particular note. So if you look on the top, you have Virginia Cedar, which is what this perfume is all about. And that's joined by some bergamot, some violet leaf and some pepper. And then in the mid, you have geranium, you have guaiac wood, you have amber, and then on the base, you have sandalwood, you have oak moss, and you have benzoin. So not a massively extensive list of materials, but what you have got is, to me, one of the best representations of cedar I've ever smelled. It literally is amazing. It's such a lovely woodsy fragrance, and it really is all about the woods. Now, I'm going to be using the word wood quite a lot here, which is going to give Richard lots of opportunity to do some strange editing. So I'll get it out of the way now. I've got wood in a bottle, and I'm expecting some sort of giggity type nonsense to appear in the video. So I'll leave that for Rich to have some fun with. But this is a very interesting perfume, and I'll tell you what I find. It's a bit of a link perfume, which sounds incredibly strange. Now, I have this which is Zerg's 1861 Zafiro, which is a fantastic perfume, very expensive and absolutely lovely. It's an incensey, sort of sweet, winey ode to Rome. There is a full review of it there is a full review. I can't speak this morning. There is a full review of it below. But a couple of people have compared this to Creed's Royal Oud. Now, Creed's Royal Oud is not one that I own, but it is probably my favourite from Creed. A lot of people say they smell similar. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because if you sprayed this side by side with Royal Oud, they don't smell that similar, but they do share a common note. And that common note is cedar. And the cedar that this very expensive perfume shares with Creed's Royal Oud, another very expensive perfume, is incredibly similar to this. So if you're a fan of Royal Oud and you're a fan of Zafiro, you will love the woody note in this. Now, this smells nothing like the more expensive perfumes I've been talking about. So it's not a clone, it's not a cheaper way of getting either of them. But this is a very cheap, well, it wasn't incredibly cheap, but it's not as cheap at the moment, way of getting that woodsy vibe that is really apparent in the dry down of Zafiro. The cedar in this is absolutely excellent. So when the perfume opens, the first thing you get is that deep, woodsy, almost pencil shaving like smell of cedar. You know, it is like you've just chopped into a tree and the smell of the wood's coming out. Now, I find the wood on its own, is actually quite, here we go, dry wood, blimey, is quite dry. But what they've done here is very clever. They've used the bergamot, which does give a little hint of citrus, but it doesn't smell like a bergamot. You don't smell that and think, oh, there's bergamot in that. You do, as you dig into it deeper, we'll find a little bit of a citrusy note, which kind of just freshens that wood up a tiny bit. It's the violet leaf that makes it clever, because it is another great word people love. The violet leaf just makes it a little bit moist. And what happens with that is the violet leaf gives a kind of a greenness to it, almost like a grassy vibe, just like wet grass. So you have like this sort of fresh wood, wet grass, and it's all very natural smelling. It's all very inviting. As the perfume starts to develop, this little bit of geranium just hints at floral. You don't smell geranium at all. You just get a kind of a, is there a florally vibe going on there? Which is divine, very cleverly done. Gaelic wood is a sweet balsamic smell that kind of adds to this, which just again makes it slightly more unctuous. And then it builds up, because as it starts to dry down, it becomes more and more ambery. That cedar note that we love so well, I love so much, stays with the perfume the entire way through. All that happens is it starts off quite woodsy and fresh, and then it starts becoming warmer and warmer and more ambery. And as that amber sort of makes itself known, it then starts to build up into something really, really nice. I mean, it is nice from the get-go, so, you know, don't let me confuse you there. Gaelic wood is sweet, and that, I don't know, it almost brings like a vanilla edge to it. So it's not a vanilla-y perfume. If you use vanilla in this, then it'll be something completely different. So you have a hint of vanilla all the time. That's blending in with the amber. I think the oak moss isn't really that apparent to me. And sandalwood blended in with the cedar, which is, it's different, because normally it's the other way around. Normally cedar's there to give the sandalwood a base, because most perfumes that deal with sandalwood, or a lot of the perfumes I like with sandalwood in, are a real celebration of sandalwood. This one isn't. The sandalwood is the support to the cedar, which is a kind of a bit of a reversal to what we're normally used to, or certainly what I'm not normally used to in a woodsy perfume. So there you have it. Benzoyine, you know, as I say, it just helps boost up the warmth and the amberiness that you'll get in the dry down. But it never, despite you've got all these little sort of twists and turns in the perfume's life, it never really deviates from being a very strong cedar perfume, which I think is awesome. And if you like a woodsy perfume, this is really, really good. But, you know, I do need to say, I love this, but I'm also quite aware that when I, you know, sort of say to people, I love a perfume or whatever, you know, I could be potentially guilty of hyping the perfume. But what I do need to get across is this isn't the most exciting perfume out there. It's not going to, you know, it's not like Zafiro. You're not going to spray it and think, my God, that's amazing. You're going to smell it and think, oh, that's really nice, that. And it's a real workhorse. It's a great one for, you know, for wearing to work. You could wear, this is certainly one that would do well in an office. The performance is good. It lasts a good 7 or 8 hours noticeably, and then it dies off, but you will still get it as a skin scent for probably longer. The projection is good for the first hour and a half or so, maybe a little bit longer, and you know, it pushes out, not too far, but it pushes out far enough, and it does have a wonderful sillage. You will leave this wonderful train, you know, this chain of smell will follow you around as you march about the day doing your business. And the sillage seems to stay for quite a while. The sillage, for me certainly, I seem to be more aware of it than the projection. So it's a nice one that does leave a floaty vibe around you. But it's quite an intense woody fragrance, and I need to get that across. You've got to be a fan of cedar to enjoy this one. I think because of it being such a woody frag, I think it is quite a masculine leaning one. Yet again, I'm sure this is going to smell enchanting on a lady. My wife's not tried it, to be honest, and which is interesting because she seems to be wearing mine all the time at the moment. So I need to probably give her a go, get her to have a go at this one. But I think it will work well for a female. In terms of who can wear it, age group wise, anyone can wear it. The younger thrusters might find it a little bit linear. It's not that exciting. The older gits like myself and Rich would certainly enjoy it. So I think it can be worn by anyone. And it's also, I hate the term dumb reach, but this is a really good one for that kind of thing, because it's just basically all about cedar, so it's not challenging at all. And on occasion, when I've been out, I have been known to overindulge somewhat. So the following day, I'm feeling a little bit fragile, and I just can't not wear a perfume, to be honest with you. Even if I've got the worst hangover on the planet, I'll still want to wear a perfume. But you've got to be careful with that, because you don't want anything that's going to make you feel any rougher than you already feel. And this does exactly that. This does not make you feel rough. This is a great frag to wear for a hangover. So my recommendation for a hangover fragrance, yeah. So if you do ever feel a bit fragile and you need a fairly simplistic but enjoyable fragrance to wear, Claude Montana's Graphite is a good one for you to wear. So there you have it. A really good cheapie. I think it probably has been discontinued. So if you want to get it now before it goes up anymore. Would I pay £30 for that? Yes, I would. It's a 100ml bottle, and I think £30 for that is absolutely fine. Would I pay 40 or 50 or even 60 for it? Don't know, to be honest with you. I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to run out of it, and I've still got probably 3/4 of a bottle left, so this is going to last me quite a while. When I eventually get through that, and I will probably want to replace it, would I pay 60, 70, 80 pounds for it? I don't think I would. I think I'll probably try and find something similar that may be a little bit more exciting for that kind of money. But if you can get it at a good price at the moment, then please do. And if you have already got it, let us know what you think. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for your time. Always a pleasure. Love the fact that you're spending time with me and Rich as I waffle on and he mucks about with his clever stuff. And we will see you on the next video. There will, sorry, just briefly, there will be a really, really short video being released very, very soon, because we've got a stunning offer for you guys. So keep your eyes peeled for that one, and I shall see you very soon. Take care, cheers, and bye.